lonely, saddened with your life, remember always you are a part of a divine network of life, of many living beings who live together in a whole. And all of these living beings seek happiness. They seek deep, lasting happiness. They don't know what it looks like. And in their life, they find the closest experience possible. And that experience is love, intimacy with another, connectedness to another, and love. Feeling the dissolution of this pain of loneliness and separation, and the connection that leads beyond the thoughts in the mind, that leads beyond duality to a kind of wholeness, a love that transcends thoughts, transcends species, transcends differences between human beings. In the world today, there are wars being fought over territory, over religious differences, where human beings, rather than participating in that love that dissolves differences, are very aware of differences and want to crush the other rather than love the other. The other is a part of your own self. You do not exist just in this body, in this mind. You exist in all beings, in all of life. Bodies are of the earth. They are an amazing creation, but their purpose is to come and to go. Conscious awareness that breathes life into bodies and lives in bodies is eternal, immortal. The nature of being is unchanging. And so whether the being is of a different racial mix, a different culture, a different species, you are in relationship, you are connected. When you live in the connectedness of all life, you realize there is a unity to life, that all beings are your friends, that the simplest of animals, the plants, the trees, the flowers, they're all part of your own self. They are part of the infinite whole of life. Each has an understanding, a yearning to find happiness, to find completeness, to feel that love, which is eternal, to feel that dissolution of separateness into the joy of being. And so you are never alone in truth, for that Divine One abides in every form, in every being, in the plants, in the animals, in all manner of humans, and in other beings as well. There is no difference between you and all of those. You are of the same nature, though your manifestations may be very different. Your essence is one. And the search for that wholeness of essential being, that wholeness of love, is a universal phenomenon. But human beings have a special capacity. There is more awareness, more understanding. More understanding creates both the ability to move into the darkness and an ability to move into the light of being, depending on one's inclinations, evolved from one's experiences of the past, one's sanskaras. There will be different paths for different people. But in the search for happiness, in the search for that completeness, the human longing of the heart brings you in contact with the love you share with all living beings. True spirituality is not complex, it's simple. As simple as a moment of love, looking into the eyes of a loved one, sharing a moment of love with another living being, where the mind dissolves, the heart opens, and there is only the love in shared being. There are those that would tell you, don't associate with animals, their consciousness will diminish yours. Keep yourself in the company of good people, otherwise they will diminish you. And this holds a relative truth, that the lower desires of the animal mind can impact you if your animal mind is dominant. But if your animal mind is subservient to this universal love in your heart, then the animal is your best friend, the embodiment of divine being. And when that one looks at you and opens their heart in love to you, and you to them, you will both transcend all crude realms into the subtleness of deep spiritual love. So the very same animal can bring you to the realms of bliss if your mind is open to knowing their true nature and your true nature. The very same people who you would not keep the company of because they are too gross, too crude, and they will degrade your thinking. If your mind is established in a subtle flow, they are the children of God, and you can share a moment of joy with them. And in that love that you share, there is a transcendence of all of this material world and a joy of being. And you can see God in their eyes. So for the man who or woman whose mind is immersed in crudity, they see all around them crudity. But for the man or woman whose mind is immersed in God, in the love of the infinite, they see all around them the forms of God. And they feel love in their heart for all living beings. So, in which category do you find yourself? In the category of love for all beings in all of their diversity of manifestation, or in the category of judgment, condemnation, I and mine, as opposed to them and theirs? You can disagree with the ideas of another and still share the moments of love, share the joy of being if you are open to that. You can be of very different political views. If your mind is clear and you are established in your sadhana, you are established in your love for all beings. The crude mind and thoughts of others will not affect you. And if you can see their divinity, their love, their beauty, you can see the God in them. You can see your own self in them. You can see your own shadows in them, but you see the divine love, the sweetness underneath, and you find the good person in them, and you relate, and you love. Though your views may be very different about politics, about religion, about other aspects of the world, still divine being abides in awe and is there for you to know, to realize, to be a part of. So you are never alone. You are never helpless. The infinite one, that infinite source of love, the very fabric of the universe, abides in you and all around you. When you put aside judgment, condemnations, narrow-mindedness, groupism, that person is part of this political party, that person is part of this spiritual movement, that person is a criminal. That person is, uh, for some other reason in your judgment, not good enough to be loved by you, to be connected. Or that is an animal, a mere animal. That is a plant. What of a plant? What care is there? If you put aside that level of mind, quiet it down, listen with the heart, listen with the spirit, then all around you, you are surrounded by divine being. And that divinity is ever there. It makes the heart weep to see cruelty of humans to humans for purposes of acquisition, judgments. My religion is superior, my people as opposed to your people. Who cares the suffering your people endure? I will protect my own people or my own vested interests and power. All such thoughts bring great suffering in the world. And yet, even those who bring so much suffering, they have within them the divinity, but they are lost in groupism, they are lost in their anger, in their own wounds of mind and heart, perhaps even generational wounds. What to do? Understand them. Stop these wrong actions. Do all you can to bring understanding of love, this love that all beings share to the world. This is the suffering today, the suffering that humanity has lived in, dividing itself into this group and that group, never seeing the thread that you share in commonality and the love that is universal. And due to this, so much harm is done in the world, harm to living beings. It is a spiritual problem. At its heart, it is a spiritual problem facing the world today. People must understand the dharma, must understand the path to light. And you, as a spiritual being, can, by your own example, bring that love, that light, that understanding to others. Not by your judgments and your hatreds, no, 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 but by the love that transcends differences, transcends separateness, transcends all different aspects of life. The love that is the essential nature of all beings, that is your own essential nature, and the nature of all others. That love is what brings you where you need to be, what allows you to be whole, to be transcendent, to be infinite, to love all beings as your own self, for indeed they are your own self, and to have great compassion for the ignorance and suffering of living beings. That is not to participate in the darkness, but to have compassion. And as spiritual beings, do by your own actions show the path of light and of truth, of universal love that transcends differences, transcends boundaries. You are not Christian or yogic or Hindu or Muslim. You are the universal one. And when you begin to see others in this light, it changes. And even those you see who are doing great harm in the world, what to do? For they love their children, they love their family, they love their friends and their ones who are part of their religious order or their group, their political party, their particular approach to life. What to do? Love them unconditionally. Show the path of deep love that transcends differences. But if they are doing great harm in this world, and there are those for which the lives and blood and suffering and anguish of thousands and thousands rest on the shoulders and as a result of their actions. It is easy to hate, but hate does not render truth. For the truth is, they are part of you. They are your human nature following its instincts of survival. They demonstrate a part of your own self and bring it to life in the world. But while they do these horrendous acts, and thousands die, millions perhaps, they love their own kith and kin, and they seek the happiness and the moments of true joy. They think they do right because they live in ignorance, imposed by religion, politics, those who desire power and position, territory, dominance. Those who simply desire to be right and make someone else wrong. As true spiritualists, it is to see beyond all of that, to find the path of Dharma, which has no judgment, but lives in the light and dispels the darkness of the dualistic thinking, which brings about such pain in the world. Pain begets pain. To solve it is not to inflict pain, but to grace the world with love. Do what you can to stop actions in the world which harm living beings. But your actions must come from a place of love, of meeting the other, knowing the other is you. How would you want to be treated if you were in darkness and due to your own pain, inflicting great pain on the world to one degree or another. So whether it is factory farms inflicting the pain and suffering on so many living beings, or wars for territory, religion, and differences of my people as opposed to yours, it is all the same. It is the path away from Dharma. As a yogi, as one who knows the truth, how can you heal this world? Your meditation alone brings healing to this world. Your intention that all the living beings should live in knowledge of their unitary existence. Through sadhana, through words of wisdom, kindness, through sharing of love, you bring to others who gives the first handshake and draws the other into love rather than hating, who gives the direction that we can all work together in love and works to stop oppression, but not by hating the oppressor, but through understanding and redirection of the energies of people, letting them know their own nature. Spiritual teachings are very important in this time in the world. There is a darkness that is in the minds of human beings. There is a polarization that is taking place. It is the love that sees beyond these dualities, that sees the binding of humanity and brings that forward, that will change the world. So you yourself live in this unconditional love. Live in this deep wisdom and understanding. Parampurusha, the Infinite One, is the very essence of all that is, and all living beings live in this. Whether they be guided in their actions or misguided in their actions. How can you be guided in your actions, following Dharma, and not misguided? For it is very simple to become misguided, even when you are a spiritualist and you think you are following the spiritual path. It happens very easily, and your whole group supports you. So your misguided actions, you don't notice. There is no one to tell you it's misguided. This is a common experience. You must know Paramapurush within. Follow Guru, not in external teachings, not in what you are told in your class, or your seminar, but from your heart, from the inner depths that knows the ways of love and the ways of truth. Follow Dharma to the one eternal source, which is not separate from all of life, but abides in all of life. Remember, all beings are part of the one, come from eternal being, and return to eternal being. Right? Namaskar.